Hey guys, I hope you had an awesome weekend. Happy Tuesday. We are getting close to having our arguments completely done. You wrapped up your rough draft last week, and now we just need some final revisions and edits to get it finalized. So today I wanted to talk really quickly about citations. Citations are really important when you're writing anything where you've referred to any other sources. You want to make sure that you aren't accidentally taking credit for other people's words. When I looked through some of your rough drafts, I've been working on getting some comments on those on your Google Docs. I noticed quite a few sentences that seemed to be pulled directly from sources, but that weren't in quotes or weren't cited properly, and that can be really dangerous and that can be really bad because you don't want to take credit for someone else's ideas. So make sure that you are writing your work in your own words, and make sure that anything that you're quoting or paraphrasing is cited. So if you use information that you didn't come up with, that didn't come straight from your brain, you need to cite that. So if you've quoted someone, if you've read an article and you're using some things that person said, you need to cite that information. So let's really quickly talk about the two different types of citations. We have in-text citations or parenthetical citations, and then we have the full citations. So the first thing you need to know is in-text citations. In-text citations go immediately after your quote or evidence. So if you have any sort of quote or paraphrased fact or information from an article that you read, an in-text citation goes after that, at the end of that sentence. It's just going to be the author's last name and the page number in parentheses. If it's a website, there's probably not a page number, so it's just going to be the author's last name. The full citation is going to go at the end in what's called a works cited. So it's going to be listed at the end in alphabetical order. It will include the author's name, the source title, the container title, which is like the title of the website, the publisher, the publication date, where you found it, like the URL, and then the date that you accessed it. You can use websites like EasyBib, or you can write it out yourself. Personally, I actually think it's easier to just write it out yourself, because formatting gets really tricky when you try to copy and paste it. If you want to see what an example looks like, it looks something like this for that full citation. So we've got the author's last name, we've got the title of the article in parentheses or in quotation marks, we've got the title of the website italicized. I wrote it in cursive to show that it was italicized. We've got the publisher, we have the date it was published, we have the URL, and we have the date that I accessed it originally, and that was on March 17th. You might have noticed that the dates are not in the order that we normally write them. In MLA format, they're written this way: day, month, year. That's how a lot of people write dates in other countries, so they went with that one. And then if I were doing an in-text citation for this source, I would have this author's last name in parentheses, and it would go at the end of my sentence. Here's sort of like the generic what goes where. If you want to try to write these out yourself, it's not a bad idea to try that. Let's look really quickly at my Google Doc so you can see what they look like in action. So here's my rough draft. If we look right here, I've got a quote. As you can see the quotation marks. I have my lead-in according to the Briscoe Center for American History. And then I've got my author's last name in parentheses before the period. You'll notice there's no period at the end of the quote. And then same thing in my next paragraph. I've got a lead-in, I've got a quote, and I've got my author's last name in parentheses. Same thing down here. There's the one from the example. And same thing down here. So you're going to want to make sure that you have those in-text citations. They're really easy and quick, but they really help your credibility. Without citing your sources, you are stealing from people, and you don't want to be someone who steals ideas or acts like something is from your brain when it's not. That's really dishonest, and it doesn't make you a better writer. It actually makes you a worse writer. And then it's hard to trust what you've said. It's not very convincing if I'm not sure that I can trust you, because some of what you said is from another source and you haven't cited it. So you want to make sure that you are citing all of those sources. And then at the end, we have what's called a works cited. If this is sort of weirdly formatted now that it's turned the other way, if you pull up the doc yourself, it's still linked on Canvas. You can see it correctly if I turn it like this. Nope, still all weird. Do the best you can with the order. It should be indented in the second half. I'll show you what it kind of looks like. If you look here, you see how I have this aligned all the way to the left, and then first name and stuff goes in. That's how it's supposed to look. If technology is not allowing it to work correctly, let me know. I'm not going to count off or anything. If you have the information, it's okay for now. Just like I just showed you, mine is messing up on my iPad. I did it on my computer, so the formatting might get funky. Do the best that you can. All right. Let me know if you have any questions. Get those citations done. Get anything else that you need to change or add or revise figured out. If you want to talk about your writing with me, let me know. I'm happy to do a video conference or just read your doc and add some more comments to it to let you know how it's going. All right, guys. Having a good day.